Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a beautiful 10th of March, 2025. Coming up on this episode of the Crusty podcast, episode 349, King Blarney Carney has been anointed. That's right. A brand new Liberal Prime Minister for us all to sit and enjoy and to ridicule, just like we did JT. Oh my goodness. All that and more come on the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Please stick around.
Hit it, sweetheart. Because I am hard, you will not like me.
Yes, sir.
There is no racial bigotry here. Here you are all equally worthless.
From Western Canada, this is the Crusty Canuck podcast, a Canadian veteran's point of view on political, social, economic issues and life. Here's Crusty.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 349 of the Crusty Canuck podcast. I am your host, Crusty Canuck. Oh my goodness, what an interesting past 48 hours it has been. This podcast is also brought to you in part by and supported by Veterans for Freedom Network. That's right, Stand 2, Veterans for Freedom. And coming up sometime in the future, Veterans for Freedom TV. That's right. Hi, everybody. I am your host, Crusty Canuck. Hope you've all had a good couple of days in the past little while. I know I've been pretty busy myself. I've had a new microphone here for a while. It was a standby microphone because the last time I was using the other one, I don't know what's going on. I might have to get a whole new set. Anyhow, we'll talk about that later. Listener view discretion is advised because I will swear, smoke cigarettes, and all that good stuff. So, Mr. Mark Carney is now the new Prime Minister of Canada. Oh, well, the anointed, the designated Prime Minister based on the whole doctrine when it comes to selecting a Prime Minister in between elections. However, this is just going to be a rant and rage over the stupidity that our government keeps promoting, ladies and gentlemen. Now, there's a little article here that was written by, who is this here? This is by, I found it online there today, actually, by the Daily Digest, and I will read this along. There's like 16 slides to it. So it'd be like sitting in a library when you're a kid in kindergarten, and someone is reading you a book about some really cool adventures. However, I'm just going to tell you a story about Carney and Blarney and all this bullshit. So we got a new Prime Minister. Justin is gone finally. Okay, that's great. That's great. Who cares? Okay, good riddance, good effing riddance, whatever. Okay, enough of his crap. It's done. Now, from what I've seen with Mr. Blarney, he does the exact same thing. He's no different. He's no different as far as I'm concerned. Okay, because he comes from a very well-to-do background. He was educated at Harvard and Oxford. Oh, yes, and he's quite the economist. Like I said, he's an intelligent guy. Okay, but contrary to the myth about how and the belief how he wants to get rid of the carbon tax and how he wants to do this. He's not getting rid of the carbon tax, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, because he was one of the advocates to promote it back in 2020. Okay, and there's an interesting take that Ezra Levant has on him, and I will include that description in description. I'll include that video in my description, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a long day. Anyhow, make a long story short, he is full of it. Okay, he is full of it. I don't trust him. I just got off the phone with my father there about maybe 40 minutes ago, and we were discussing the whole issue about Carney and about how he's going to do this and how he's going to do that. And, you know, my dad has seen a lot of prime ministers come and go. He's seen the reign and the rage of Pierre Trudeau and Joe Clark back in 79. And, of course, you know, when Trudeau Sr. retired in 84, my dad was like just jumping for joy. And just the outrage when Mulroney was cutting back on things. So my dad has quite a bit of history when it comes to prime ministers in this country. And he really wants me to give him a chance. Now, I don't want to give him a chance. I think the Liberal brand has been tarnished. It's been squandered. And a lot of good people have been screwed out of jobs and screwed into jobs because of the Liberal brand now, too. I was not raised in a household where you're bigoted or racist. I was not raised in a household where you have to judge people on their political outlook. You judge people on their actions. Now, look at the actions of the Liberal government, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, sit and think about it for a second. The past 10 years, think of the actions of the Liberal government. No actions whatsoever, just to spend more money that they don't have and take it from you, the taxpayer. Okay, the average Canadian is paying anywhere from about 42% to about 44% now in taxes because of the carbon initiatives where Canada has to save the world, right? Canada must save the world, you know. And all this animosity is going back and forth between the borders, between Americans and Canadians. When we watch the Four Nations Cup, the whole booing of the anthems, the whole booing of this, uncalled for, unprofessional, and just downright fucking stupid. Okay? So when everybody's taking the big hype about, oh, Carney's going to make all these great these great differences, and we're not going to have any issues with carbon taxes anymore. Bullshit. We are going to have a lot of problems with carbon taxes. We are going to have issues with carbon taxes because they're just going to increase them. They're just going to hide them. And chances are, let's say they call an election. I hope they do, because I think this country really deserves an election. Okay? And if they're going to pay attention to the Constitution this time, technically don't have to have an election until 2026, but I don't think Carney's going to save us from anything. I don't think any elected official right now is going to save us from anything, because I'm not seeing anybody have any balls. Okay, I'm not seeing the balls. I'm not seeing the dedication. Now I'm seeing the uproar and the unity that's going on somewhat, but is it real unity? Again, I'd like to remind you, my wonderful audience, especially my American listeners out there, where was the unity for this back in February 2022? Where was it? Was it in Washington, D.C.? Was it in Vancouver, B.C.? St. John's, Newfoundland? Was it in Ottawa? You're fucking right, it was in Ottawa. And I remember people going back and forth about, this is not a real freedom convoy, or that's a real freedom convoy, and this is not a real freedom convoy, and this is not promoting any kind of freedom. Well, my question is to those individuals who say it's not a real freedom convoy, did you want to see blood in the streets? Did you want to see riots? Did you want to see towns burn? Did you want to see buildings burn? Did you want to see windows get smashed? Do you want to see people get beat up in the street? Would that be a freedom convoy? My concern with Carney is that he has all these great ideas, but it all comes around one thing: taking more money out of your wallet, my wife's wallet, their wives' wallets, and so on and so on and so on. And that's what it comes to. I don't think there's anything substantial about the man. Is that he was inserted. Because Ezra Levant will tell you in the description, okay, and I'll leave that video there for you all to watch at your own leisure. Okay, how come there were so many different candidates from certain popular ridings that were voting for them the last federal election, and yet the numbers are so low? Especially when Mr. Carney got away with 139,000 votes, right? And then so many votes, like I said in my last video, that were disqualified based on Sheila Gunn Reid's report. So which is it? So setting him up to be the King Blarney Carney, or it's just a fake implant? That's all it is. I think there's some mischievous powers on the way on here. I think there's something else going on here that we don't know. But of course, we're also finding things out on a day-to-day basis too. So something to think about, folks. Back after this.
Stay updated and follow Crusty Canuck on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, YouTube, and Podbean. Subscribe today and donate at crustycanuck.ca.
And you're back to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Crusty Canuck. Hope we all have had a good Monday so far. This podcast is number 349, the Crusty Canuck podcast. King Blarney Carney has been anointed. That's right. And what else do we do? What else do we say about it? Go with the flow and hope for the best. Wait for an election. Even if they open Parliament tomorrow, that man could probably do a lot of damage right now as we speak. Who knows what's going on behind closed doors? Who knows what's going to happen, right? He's meeting his cabinet right now as we speak, coming up with some plans or some contingency. And who wants his portfolio? Who wants that portfolio? Jesus Christ. Anyhow, I'm going to queue up this little thing from Daily Digest for you all here, and you can read along. Just follow the little bouncing ball. You know what I mean? But it's just, I just find it too good to be true. Too easy, right? Right? Too bloody fucking too good to be true. Anyhow, I'll read this along here for you, so you don't have to. So, according to fine people at Daily Digest, ladies and gentlemen, dailydigest.com. Right? Mark Carney won the Liberal leadership race. On March 9th, the sun set on Justin Trudeau's time as leader of the Liberal Party and Canadian Prime Minister. In his place, the Liberals elected former Bank of Canada Governor Mark Carney to take over the reins of government. Ooh, joy, right? Who is Mark Carney? Carney is a former banker and also the former governor of the Bank of England, who put them into debt, by the way. And he managed the Bank of Canada during the global financial crisis and the Bank of England during Brexit. Now he's poised to lead Canada through Donald Trump's second term. Well, for the record, when Canada had its financial crisis back in 2008, it was Stephen Harper and Joe Flaherty that did all the work. Carney just kind of mixed some numbers up, but I'm digressing. Right? Oh, sorry. I don't want this one. That's just a stupid ad. Excuse me. A mild-mannered, normal politician. Well, this is his first kick at the can of politics. So he's not really a politician. He's actually got to do the work first. While Carney has billed himself as a mild-mannered, normal politician set on building the Canadian economy up again, he surprised many at the Liberal Leadership Convention when he captured roughly 85% of the vote, leaving his other three competitors in the dust. Yeah, and he also had a lot of journalists, and it doesn't matter if they're independent or not. He obviously doesn't believe in freedom of the press, ladies and gentlemen, because he had a lot of individual reporters kicked out. Rebel, Juno, right? Not to mention independent seekers like Daisy Media. And I'm so out of whack with this. Anyway, there's a whole list of independent journalists that have their credentials, who have a card that say they're journalists, and he had him kicked out of the convention. So he's not really a fair guy there. You know, if you don't walk his line, he doesn't want to give you time, right? Yeah, he's full of shit. Who Carney beat to win the race? Among other leadership hopefuls were Karina Gold. She's the censorship queen, right? Member of Parliament MP. Frank Baylis. He had ties with certain machines during the pandemic, right? And a whole profitable businessman and politician. And Chrysty Freeland, Mr. Speaker, the former Minister of Finance, Deputy Prime Minister under JT, right? Morons, basically. Okay. Now you can see the half of the stats here on this card, right? Mr. Carney received 131,674 votes, which gave him 85% of the vote, or roughly 86%. Okay. So what's that tell you? It just looks like it's rigged. So roughly 150,000 Liberal Party members cast a ballot, and 131,000 of those voters selected Carney. Freeland, Carney's main rival in the leadership race, only received 11,000 votes, while Gould captured 4,000 votes, and Baylis another 4,000 votes, according to CTV News. Okay, that's just odd to me, but we'll see. Anyway, right? Former banker's victory speech. Now, I listened to his speech and I wanted to puke, because it just seems so disingenuous, right? Just really disingenuous. But hey, who am I? Carney took the stage after he was announced as the new Liberal Party leader, which also now made him the new Prime Minister of Canada, and revealed a few policies he planned to enact immediately. He also revealed a few hints about how he will likely frame the next election, how he will likely do it, or what is he going to do. Yeah. Speaking from the Liberal Leadership Convention stage, Carney said his government will be guided by fiscal responsibility, social justice, and international leadership. Okay, how about keep your hands out of our pockets, put social justice on hold, and talk about some real effing justice, like reforming the criminal aspects you have here. And don't worry about the international world or the international stage. How about worrying about the Canadian stage first? That's just my 2 cents. You know, this language may not play well with conservatives in Canada. Well, conservatives and libertarians, we're not pleased. You know, a pragmatist who wants change. I am a pragmatist above all. So when I see that something's not working, I'll change it. Really? My government will immediately eliminate the divisive carbon tax on consumers and stop the hike in capital gains tax, Carney said during his victory speech. Yes, he will stop the consumer tax, apparently, and stop the hike on capital gains, apparently, right? But someone's going to get stuck with that consumer and that capital gains. It'll be small businesses, ladies and gentlemen, not you and I, but we'll still pay for it too. Putting a new plan into action. While speaking about the changes he will bring to Canada over the coming days and weeks, Carney revealed he would put into action our plan to build a stronger economy, to create new trading relationships with reliable trading partners, and secure our borders. Yeah, right. So, thanking Justin Trudeau. Carney thanked his predecessor, Justin Trudeau, for calling him a fighter for Canada. Bullshit. He said Trudeau led Canada through some of the hardest challenges the nation has ever faced. Bullshit. He didn't lead anything. He just delegated. And he dictated. And you know it. Right? Trudeau spent 10 years as Prime Minister and 12 as the Liberal leader. So there's a comfy pension for you there, Buckeye. Right? Facing Canada's biggest threat. An election was not called by the new Prime Minister, but many Canadians now see one on the horizon as the nation faces unique threats from Donald Trump, and Carney seeks a mandate from the country to deal with the mess created by Trump's tariff war. No, actually, you guys created the mess. You created the economic downfall that we face today. Now you just inherited that portfolio, Blarney Carney. Okay? Keeping the tariff pressure on Trump. My government will keep our tariffs on until the Americans show us respect, Carney explained. In trade, as in hockey, Canada will win. He went on to compare Conservative Party leader Pierre Poilievre to Trump and question his ability to lead. Poilievre is nothing like Trump. Okay? He hasn't, fucking some people's kids, right? The Conservatives will weaken Canada. There's someone else who, if he succeeds, will weaken our economy, Pierre Poilievre. Carney stated as the Liberal convention crowd booed. A lifelong politician who worships the altar of the free market despite never having made payroll himself, he said, referring to Poilievre. Well, you want to screw up payroll, Mark? At least Pierre's got a better plan. You want to tax payroll. Your predecessor has taxed payroll, you twit. Right? Billing himself as the better choice. Yes. Unlike Pierre Poilievre, I've actually worked in the private sector. Yeah, we know, pal. The big private sectors. I know how the world works. And I know how it can be made to work better for all of us, Carney continued, drawing a clear distinction between him and the opposition leader. Yeah. You want to sell coal to China. You want to invest in foreign pipelines, but you're damned straight not to get pipelines through Canada. Gotcha, Buckeye. Right? Partisan politics. Carney went on to add Trump thinks he can weaken Canada and that Poilievre's plan for a country would leave the nation divided and easier to conquer, setting up a new narrative for the country as it steers down the barrel of a new election. You mean something that the Liberals did the past 10 years? Divided the country over gender, spectrums, political beliefs, jibby jabs, masks, right? Firearms. Do I need to go on, Marcus? You twat. Right? Hitting Poilievre where it hurts. A person who worships at the altar of Donald Trump will kneel before him. Yeah? Not stand up to him, Carney said. We are strongest when we're in an economy, not 13. Yeah, one economy, right? A collective. See, that's very collective of you to say, Marcus. Right? Parliament is set to resume on March 24th. The next election will be October 25 if no election is called before then. Okay, that was from the dailydigest.com. I will put this in the description if you want to see it, ladies and gentlemen. But what a load of bullshit that was. Honestly, what a load of bullshit. Right? One economy, one strong united front. Right? Now, I'm all for uniting this country, but I'm also for letting people keep their money, and I'm letting people get ahead. And I've just explained to you in not so many words, not people are going to get ahead with his economic plan. He's a smart economist, but he also gave Britain quite a bit of inflation. And he advised Justin Trudeau the past 5 years. So do the math.
Stay updated and follow Crusty Canuck on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, YouTube, and Podbean. Subscribe today and donate at crustycanuck.ca.
And you're back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 349. King Blarney Carney has been anointed. I'm your host, Crusty Canuck. Hope all is well. If you like and hear you see, click like, subscribe, share this podcast, all your social media platforms too. Do not be shy. And like I've mentioned in all my episodes before, give me a thumbs up, give me a comment. Let me know where you're watching from or where you're seeing this from. I don't care if you're in Europe. I don't care if you're in Africa. I don't care if you're in Asia. I don't care if you're anywhere in the world. Just let me know so I get a consensus, because I'm starting to get a few more downloads and more people watching, and I'm very, very grateful. Give yourselves a round of applause for that. You guys are awesome people. And I want to congratulate my friends in Britain. Well, we've only talked briefly, but there's Nina and Aurelio Wolf that have just recently been married, and they just came back from their honeymoon. So congratulations, you two. All the best for your music, and keep it coming. Keep it coming, because your music has inspired me to write some great stuff. So keep it coming, okay? I think you two are my new muses. Yeah, to make a long story short. Anyhow, carrying on with this whole episode 349. King Blarney Carney has been anointed, right? So obviously the election seems like to be a fiasco as far as I'm concerned. Not that I'm being sympathetic towards the other Liberal candidates, but I'm not sympathetic to their bullshit. And neither should you, my wonderful audience. You know, to my American viewers and listeners out there too, we got a real shit show going on here. You know, now Mike Myers, Canadian comedian extraordinaire, you know, and he's influenced a lot of my decisions when it comes to entertainment. But you know, the whole elbows up thing. Good for him saying that on Saturday Night Live, standing up for his country. But now you're seeing more and more of these Canadians doing elbows up because Gordie Howe was known to be quite the player in the day, and he liked his elbows quite a bit. So it's an old hockey term, right? But I mean, long story short, stop the animosity and let us focus on Canada. Let us focus on what's important to Canada. Can we do that? Can we do that? Is that allowed? Right? Because there's a lot of people that I served with under this flag. And there's a lot of family I have, they're not with us anymore, that served under the red ensign you see behind here in my background. And they fought for democracy. And they fought for freedom of choice, freedom of thought, freedom of religion, freedom of expression. Now, I've explained to you, my wonderful audience, too, how much freedom of expression did Mr. Mark Carney allow in his little entourage is there. If you're an advocate for freedom of the press, then you'll let any press agent come into your display, your speech, your meeting, whatever. Okay? You will allow that if you are a firm believer in freedom of the press. Okay? But if you're like a Charlie Angus or a Jagmeet Singh or a Karina Gold or a Dominic LeBlanc or any politician that's advocated for any kind of censorship, then as far as I'm concerned, you're full of shit, and I'm not going to give you the time of day nor the respect. Okay? Okay? Now, when Mr. Trump talks about the whole 51st state and calling Justin governor, I think that was a jab at Justin. Okay? Because really, ladies and gentlemen, the man was a terrible fucking leader. The man couldn't lead a fart to a toilet, for crying out loud. Okay? And I'll have to hand it to Mr. Trump for being a good business sense and doing the cutthroat approach. Okay? But when it comes to this whole issue of the annexation, let's not worry about it. Let's worry about Canada. Let's worry about what's going on here and how we can improve it for other Canadians. So we can open up the borders and bring in proper investment rather than regulation, red tape, rule, regulation, red tape, rule. Right? Can we do that without hurting anyone's feelings? Without someone thinking bad thoughts? We got to toughen up. Shit simple. Right? So regardless if you praise the anointed, right? They're not anointed. He's just a lucky son of a bitch who got rich, who knows numbers, knows how to play it, and he's probably going to play us. We better play back. So between now and the 24th of March, when they actually get off their asses and go back to fucking work like they should, because my wife and I, we're working our asses off to stay ahead. Keep these lights on, right? Keep this thing on here. For me, I might have to get a new microphone because of the fiasco that's happened the past couple of times. Okay? But Mr. Carney is no different than JT. Might be a little bit smarter with the numbers game, but he's no better. And nobody in that cabinet, as far as I can tell, is any better. I'd like to see Mr. Poilievre stand up a bit more and actually take a better part, take a better stand on things. How many of these liberal politicians have you seen down in the States talking about this and talking about that? And Miss Freeland and her little spiel on the Bill Maher show, right? Why isn't Poilievre down there? Why hasn't Poilievre gone down to Joe Rogan? Why hasn't Poilievre gone to RBD's or PBD's podcast? Well, why isn't he out and about talking to other podcasters like Moose No Loose, Fringe, right? Marty Up North, Clyde Do Something. Well, Northern Perspective, I think, might be doing something because they had a nice selfie with the guy. So why isn't he on with them? Why is he on with me? Why haven't I asked him? Probably because I actually asked Mr. Polyev about 2 years ago. And I sent an email to request some time, and I just never got a respond back. And this is before the hype that he's created. But if I reach out to you and I want you to be on my show, if you don't want to be on my show, then that's fine. But give me a response nonetheless. If you can't give me a response, then I'm like, okay, well, sorry to be blunt, but fuck you too. Okay? That's the way I look at it. Right? Because I put a lot of time and effort in making these episodes. I put a lot of time and effort in formulating and getting this done and trying to make sure I got proper equipment and everything's good to go. Because a lot of people like you out there, my wonderful audience, one more round of applause, because you guys are awesome, right? That count on this. And I want to make it work for you all. So if I reach out to you, and I don't care if you have this status or that status, or this status, or you're up here or there, have the courtesy of responding back to me. Okay? If you're understood, that's fine. If you don't want to talk to me on a live stream or any kind of episode, that's fine too. Just let me know. And don't just snub me or dismiss me. I don't take lightly to that because, firstly, I'm a grown-ass man, and I'm not in the army anymore. So I don't take dismissal too easy as I used to. Right? Anyway, I'm not going to rant and rage about my personal feelings there. I'm going to talk more about the fiasco that we have as a prime minister still. So it's not really that much different. I post on my Facebook page. It's just Trudeau 2.0. That's it. Okay? And every time I post something, I'm just not happy. And it's because I served this country and I served decent leadership at the time. And I want decent leadership back. And I want decent representation back. And I want to look at my bank account and see that I'm ahead a few hundred rather than below a few hundred. And I'm also sure that you, my wonderful audience, wants the same too. So come the next couple of weeks, we're going to have to keep these individuals on their toes and demand answers. And if we don't get any answers, then we'll find our own or find ways to get the proper answers and get the truth. Because it's our bloody right in this country, ladies and gentlemen, and we really got to start standing up for it. It's that simple. Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Crusty Canuck on this beautiful 10th of March, 2025. I hope the feedback in this microphone hasn't caused any issues with you here too. I keep hearing some little shutter sounds and what have you, but the mic seems to be working. And please comment, like, subscribe, share this content on the social media platforms. Do not be shy, ladies and gentlemen. If you see this premiered tonight, please let me know where you're writing from. Town, country, whatever, that's fine. I don't care. I'm not going to judge. I just want to get a consensus of who's out there and who's watching. I don't care what country. I don't care what your religious beliefs are. Just weigh in. Give me a hi. Give me a hello. Give me a comment, criticism, whatever. Just say something. Let me know you're around. And I've also got a poll on my post page too. I'm pondering whether I want to use the TikTok application or not. Should I? Or shouldn't I? Who knows? Anyway, folks, time will tell. Like I said, I've been Crusty Canuck this beautiful 10th of March. I wish good things for you all out there. Do not be shy. Let me know what's on your mind in the comments. Give me a thumbs up, likes, and share this all over your social media platforms. And in the meantime, weather is a little cooler here in this area, so don't get cocky, folks. Keep your trucks and cars plugged in just in case we get a cold snap. Just watch yourself on the roads there. It's a bit slippery. And just keep your wits about you and just do what you can to help you out in these trying times. Look after your friends, your loved ones, and look after yourself a bit too, folks. It's okay to be kind to yourself once in a while and just, treat people the way you want to be treated. And I shall have another episode up probably Wednesday or maybe a Vids in the Fly. I don't know, but I will do my best to get the words and the information out there too. Maybe a better microphone. We'll see. Nonetheless, do what you can to help you out in the trying times. Be good to yourselves, and your friends and loved ones. And like I always say, humanity and merit wins the day. Take care, folks, and I'll see you later. Bye for now.
Hit it, sweetheart. Because I am hard, you will not like me. Yes, sir. There is no racial bigotry here. Here you are all equally worthless.
This has been been another episode of the Crusty Canuck podcast. Stay sane and thank you for listening. From Western Canada, this is the Crusty Canuck podcast.